Snoop Dogg was always an advocate for peace.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And Death Row.
He adamantly chose not to take sides in the biggest war in hip-hop, not even after he became the target of a drive-by shooting.
They weren't shooting in there to say, get out. They were shooting there to kill someone.
But what he didn't realize was that refusing to choose a side would eventually put him against both.
This is either the moment you gonna kill me, but we're gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5-hour flight. I ain't got no security. You ain't feeling me right now? I'm like, all right, I see what's gonna happen. I've been around these, I know how they get out. I grab me a knife and a fork, sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back. I'm the last seat. So if somebody gonna get killed, if I'm gonna get killed, somebody's dying with me.
After Tupac's murder, things went from bad to worse. Snoop wanted off the label, but that meant going to war with the very man he once pledged allegiance to.
Either workers ride with us, or they ride against us. Ain't no in between. If you with us or against us. Those who not with us, nothing.
He began living life on the run, constantly looking over his shoulder. But it wasn't long before Suge caught up with him.
Suge like, doggy dog, let me come holler at you.
And in the midst of all the chaos, shocking truths came to light.
The illusion that Death Row Records was this paradise where everyone got signed and became an immediate millionaire was one of the greatest cons Suge ever pulled.
Death Row Records. I let them control everything because I trusted them and I felt like they wouldn't do me wrong.
With the growing buzz after Dr. Dre's album, Snoop was everywhere, shooting music videos all around LA and expanding his reach in the game. But it wasn't long before he rolled into a neighborhood where he wasn't welcome. August 25, 1993. While filming a video at a gas station, a young Crip named Philip Woldemariam pulled up with his crew. They didn't like Snoop being on their turf. They were strapped, and they made it known. Tensions rose, but eventually the situation calmed down. Philip and his crew left to go get some food. But here's where things take a dark turn. Snoop and his people hopped into a Jeep and allegedly followed them. They caught up at a local park, and the two crews got into a heated argument.
He had a gun, and he was going for it. And my bodyguard reacted, like he was supposed to.
And Snoop's bodyguard, Lee, reacted first.
He got shot, then he ran down the alley.
Philip collapsed from his wounds and died not far from the scene.
It was traumatic and didn't know what to do and who to turn to.
Snoop wanted to turn himself in, but Knight had other plans. Instead of surrendering, Snoop went into hiding, and for a whole week, he disappeared.
Hi, I'm Kurt Loder.
And I'm Tabitha Soren. Welcome to Opening Act, the MTV.
The MTV Music Awards were supposed to be the perfect promo moment for Snoop, leading up to the release of Doggy Style. The appearance had been pre-booked. It was risky, but word got out. Snoop Dogg was a wanted man. Detectives showed up to the venue looking for Snoop, but the show wasn't canceled, and Snoop still got his moment in the spotlight.
And the winner is...
Right after his time on stage, Snoop quietly exited and turned himself in. But Suge wasn't going to let his star player go down like that. That same day, he bailed Snoop out on a $1 million bond.
No, because I knew one thing. For me to make this dude the most hottest artist in the world, people gotta see him. So I know we giving up his chance, but at the same time, it's his job to be an artist.
And when Doggy Style finally dropped, Suge's plan became clear. The album debuted at #1 and Snoop's popularity exploded. But not everyone was celebrating.
My brother has become just a nameless, faceless commodity in the interest of record companies profiting from his blood.
Philip Woldemariam's family demanded justice, but watched in disbelief as Snoop rose to superstardom. Snoop would eventually beat the case in 1996. Suge had done it. Snoop Dogg had beaten the case, and his career had taken off. But that same year, he'd be forced to turn against him. That same year, Snoop Dogg had a track, New York, New York. To shoot the video, he and his crew flew out to the Big Apple and And like any serious move back then, they made a stop at Hot 97. Radio was king and Funkmaster Flex was the gatekeeper, but security wouldn't let them in.
Funkmaster Flex is on the air. We try to get up to go see him, we get froze.
So they said screw it and started filming anyway.
We shooting in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
While on set, they tuned into Hot 97 just to hear the vibe. Biggie was on air.
Here, Biggie Smalls on the radio. Red Hook, Brooklyn. Stand up. Tupac and the Dog Pound shooting a video in Brooklyn right now.
He had the story all wrong, but they didn't leave until Snoop's father made the close call.
So now my daddy's a Vietnam vet. My daddy come back, he's talking crazy, but we're like, man, this nigga, my daddy tripping. But my daddy really on some other shit because he a Vietnam vet, he peeping game. We ain't tripping. My daddy walk out the trailer, go to the store, 5 minutes later.
She's always checking up on me.
It's a lying piece.
Pop, please don't kill him. It was Buck's idea. No, man. I'm just a rapper, man. Please don't take me out the game.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, Pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Thank you, Pop. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
The Source Awards, 1995.
Yo, Brooklyn!
Closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and nobody want to hear it, but it's like this the South got something to say. That's all I got to say. Come to Death Row.
That year, everyone who was anyone in 90s hip-hop was all under the same roof. Biggie, Diddy, Nas, Wu-Tang, Death Row, the list goes on. Basically, everyone was there, but with one notable exception, Tupac Shakur. He was 300 miles north at Clinton Correctional Facility and serving a prison sentence, but his presence was still felt that night. Months earlier, Tupac had been shot 5 times during a robbery at Quad Studios in New York. He blamed Biggie, Diddy, and Jimmy Henchman, and to his credit, Jimmy Henchman was later revealed to be behind it. Pac didn't stay quiet. He lashed out with disses, threats, and interviews. So when the Source Awards came around, there was a lot of tension in the room, and Suge decided to escalate the situation further.
Any artists out there want to be an artist, they want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Boos followed as he left the stage, and no one knew how the night would pan out. Acts like John Singletone, Diddy, and Snoop would use their time on stage to straighten everything up, but things only cooled off for the night. Just 8 days later, Suge Knight close friend Big Jake was shot and killed. The incident happened at a party where Diddy and Suge were in attendance. And of course, Suge accused Diddy for being involved. Nearly 2 months after that, Suge signed Tupac to death row after posting a $1.4 million bail. And as we all know, Tupac was never quiet.
This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these.
Dr. Dre wanted no part in the beef, and so he left death row in March of 1996. Then in June that year, Tupac released the legendary
First off, yo, in the click.
Even when he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Yeah, did you feel like it was
I didn't like it. Right. You buying more problems, cuz.
Snoop noticed something disturbing.
They were fueling each other's fire. Like they was tip for tat. Like nobody would put water.
Pac wanted that gangsta life and Suge handed it to him. Just like Dr. Dre, Snoop just wanted to make music.
I'm Snoop Dogg. I never had any beef with anybody from the East. I'm here to make good music. That's what I signed my contract to Death Row Records for. To make good music and perform and put out good albums. I didn't sign a contract to hurt nobody or make people hate me or hate people. It was just to make good music.
In 1996, Death Row was flying high, literally. The crew headed to New York for the MTV Awards. Morale was up, Tupac was in good spirits, and even helped dress Snoop that night.
We was in New York doing the award show and laughing, and my hair perm. Yeah, he got me this Hugo Boss suit and had me on some European. My pants were fitting tight. And he had to go on some other like, let me dress you, they can get you right.
The show went well, but things took a turn the next day. Snoop got invited to Angie Martinez's radio show, and what he said didn't sit right with the camp.
I got off the radio station with Angie Martinez. She asked me on the air, how do you feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I said what I felt. They're my homeboys, I love them. I was like, I like them, because I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed cuz the wrong way, like, they tried to kill me, shot at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with When I got back to the hotel, it was a whole nother atmosphere.
Cold shoulders, silence. Something was off. The next morning, the team was headed back to LA, but Suge had a problem.
When we got on the plane to go back to LA the next day, Suge didn't let none of my security ride with me. I had to ride with him, his homies, and Pop.
Even his bodyguard felt something was wrong and offered Snoop a separate ride, but he declined. On the jet, the tension was so thick that Snoop sat alone at the back.
I'm like, what's up, Pop? And they do me like this.
Holding a knife and fork for safety.
It's either the moment you gonna kill me, and we're gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5-hour flight. I ain't got no security. You ain't feeling me right now? I'm like, all right, I see what's gonna happen. I've been around these, I know how they get out. I grab me a knife and a fork, sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back. I'm the last seat. So if somebody gonna get killed, if I'm gonna get killed, somebody dying with.
When they landed, he tried talking to Pac about catching the Tyson fight, but got brushed off. That moment would be the last time he'd see Tupac alive.
That last 7 days was like a roller coaster, because it was filled with so much happiness, and then it broke my heart.
And shortly after, Suge Knight was arrested for violating probation.
The smoke cleared when Suge Knight went to prison. A lot of the mismanagement of money came out.
Dre had already left the label. Now Pac was gone. And Snoop? He feared he was next. Either jail or worse. But leaving wasn't easy.
This did not sit well with Suge. Snoop tried to stay neutral, and Suge demanded loyalty.
Suge wouldn't let him go.
Snoop should be happy that I just did his way to try to move on to spread wings. If it wasn't for Suge Knight, he would still be in somebody's cell making dinner, washing clothes.
Turns out death row wasn't what it seemed.
Death row may actually be a front for drug money. Chris Blatchford finds out who holds the purse strings in this Fox Undercover report.
The illusion that Death Row Records was this paradise where everyone got signed and became an immediate millionaire was one of the greatest cons Suge ever pulled.
Suge never paid artists directly. He gave them flashy gifts like cars and houses, but they were all in Death Row's name.
And then when Suge went to jail, they're towing that car away.
It was smoke and mirrors. Snoop's third album, The Dogfather, dropped without Dre's production. Critics panned it, his momentum stalled.
I was being just disrespected, like, oh, he's whack, oh, he's washed up, he ain't what he used to be.
Then a lifeline, Master P.
I respected Snoop. As an artist, I was a fan.
He stepped in, and Suge sold Snoop off for a few million. That was 1998. Now with No Limit Records, Snoop was back in safe hands, and fans loved it, but Suge wasn't done.
Suge Knight recently said he used to be a superstar and now he's just a no-limit soldier. What do you say to that?
Nothing. He used to be a CEO, now he's just an inmate.
He made it clear he could still reach Snoop, even from behind bars. The scariest moment came during Master P's I Got the Hookup comedy show in Cali. Everyone from No Limit was on stage, except Snoop.
We went on stage, and Dog got left.
He was chilling backstage when a few strangers walked into the green room.
Death Row guys walk up. So we chopped it up.
More joined. Soon, Snoop found himself surrounded by 7 guys, and it clicked when one said,
"Oh, Suge, apology." I'm like, Suge. Like, what? Take off on him. Before he missed, I get out of there.
They literally ran up stage and set up performance.
Moments later, chaos. Gunshots rang out and panic erupted in the crowd. Snoop ran straight to the cops outside. He was detained, but that move might have saved his life.
No cuts, no scars, no hits, no nothing.
Snoop has been at the epicenter of a protracted and increasingly nasty split with Death Row Records.
Suge Knight's a bitch, and that's on my life.
After that, Snoop moved different. Armed security followed him everywhere. But in 2001, he got caught. Drug possession, illegal firearms, DUI. He was stripped of protection and placed on probation for 3 years. Then the news hit.
Most feared figure in all of hip-hop.
Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight celebrating his newfound freedom.
Do you worry about you getting out of jail?
No worries. At all. Why, you worried about me?
Yeah, kind of.
He'd served 5 of his 9-year sentence. Tension skyrocketed, and the media stirred it up.
LA divided now between where Suge goes and where Snoop goes?
Yeah. Suge goes everywhere in LA. Snoop goes nowhere in LA.
Eventually, Suge and Snoop crossed paths again in Vegas.
Thinking, well, wow, this guy knows where I'm at all times. How does he know where I'm at? You know?
The same city where Pac had been killed.
And while I was getting in the hotel room, she said, "Hi, Suge." I'm like,
Snoop made the call.
I said, "All right, check it out. You know where I'm at." He said, "Let me come holler." Do I say, when I finish with this little wop I'm with, I'm gonna have my folks come down here and tell you what room I'm in. And then when you come up to my room, there ain't gonna be nobody in there, just me and you.
45 minutes later, Suge walked in. The room was locked, and for the first time in years, they talked like grown men. No yelling, no threats, just truth. They both agreed.
And the whole conversation is, I love you. I had nothing but love for you.
The war was pointless. From that day forward, Snoop always said he was cool with everyone.
I'm cool with Suge, I'm cool with Master P, Dr. Dre, I'm cool with everybody.